What if your distractions are hiding something deeper? Most people think distraction is harmless, just a way to relax after a stressful day. A few videos, a few hours scrolling, constant background noise to make life feel lighter. But what if your distractions are not actually helping you rest? What if they're helping you avoid yourself? Because deep down, many people already know there are things they don't want to think about. Uncomfortable emotions, unfinished decisions, the growing feeling that life is moving, but they are not. And instead of facing that discomfort directly, the mind searches for something easier, something immediate, something that keeps attention occupied long enough to avoid silence. So the phone becomes automatic, the noise becomes constant, and little by little, distraction stops being entertainment and starts becoming emotional escape. The human brain naturally avoids psychological discomfort. That's not weakness, it's survival. When something feels emotionally heavy, uncertain, or overwhelming, the mind immediately searches for relief. And modern distractions are designed perfectly for that. Short videos, notifications, constant stimulation, infinite scrolling. They temporarily interrupt self-awareness. For a moment, you stop thinking about the pressure you've been avoiding. The problem is, that temporary relief can quietly become dependency. Not because you're addicted to entertainment itself, but because your brain begins associating distraction with emotional safety. And over time, silence starts feeling uncomfortable. Stillness feels threatening. The moment there's nothing distracting you, unresolved thoughts immediately return. So people keep consuming more, not necessarily because they enjoy it, but because distraction becomes easier than confronting the reality they keep postponing. One of the most dangerous parts of distraction is how productive it can appear. You can spend entire days mentally occupied without actually moving your life forward. Watching, listening, scrolling, researching, thinking about changing, but not changing. And because your mind remains constantly stimulated, it creates the illusion of movement. You feel busy, but emotionally, nothing really changes. That's why many people end the day mentally exhausted while still feeling deeply unsatisfied. Not because they did nothing, but because most of their energy was spent escaping internal discomfort instead of addressing it. Distraction becomes a way of emotionally postponing yourself, postponing difficult conversations, postponing uncertainty, postponing action. And eventually, people stop noticing how much of their life is being consumed by things that temporarily numb them while quietly keeping them stuck. The uncomfortable truth is that constant distraction slowly weakens your ability to tolerate reality, because meaningful change usually requires boredom, stillness, reflection, discomfort. But modern life trains people to escape those feelings immediately. The moment discomfort appears, attention shifts somewhere else, and over time, the brain loses its tolerance for silence. That's why many people struggle to sit alone with their own thoughts, not because they are lazy, but because they have spent years training themselves to emotionally run away whenever discomfort appears. The phone becomes automatic, the noise becomes constant, and emotional avoidance becomes invisible. Eventually, distraction is no longer a conscious decision. It becomes identity. A person who always needs something playing, something moving, something distracting them from the life they quietly know they should be confronting. What makes this pattern dangerous is that society often rewards it. Being constantly occupied looks normal. People celebrate productivity, stimulation, and non-stop consumption. So very few stop to ask, what am I actually trying not to feel? Because that question is uncomfortable. It forces honesty, And honesty often reveals things people have been avoiding for years. Loneliness, fear, regret, lack of direction, emotional exhaustion. Distractions don't create those problems. They simply help hide them temporarily. And the longer those emotions remain hidden, the harder they become to confront. That's why many people suddenly feel emotionally lost, even while staying constantly entertained, because stimulation is not the same thing as fulfillment. You can fill every silent moment of your day and still feel disconnected from yourself, still feel restless, still feel like something important inside you is quietly being ignored.
Escaping into distractions doesn't always destroy your life dramatically. Usually it happens slowly, through small, repeated habits, checking your phone every few minutes, avoiding quiet moments, always needing noise in the background, constantly postponing reflection. And because nothing immediately collapses, the pattern feels harmless. But over years, distraction steals something extremely important: attention. And whatever controls your attention eventually shapes your life. Your focus determines your decisions. Your decisions shape your future. That's why distraction is not only about wasted time, it's about emotional direction. Because every moment spent escaping discomfort is also a moment not spent building the life you actually want. And eventually, people realize they were never truly resting. They were emotionally hiding. At some point, you have to ask yourself a difficult question. If all the distractions disappeared for one day, what thoughts would finally catch up to you? Because sometimes the constant need for stimulation is not about entertainment at all. It's about avoidance. Avoidance of uncertainty, avoidance of difficult emotions, avoidance of the uncomfortable awareness that your life may need change. And the longer people continue escaping into distractions, the harder it becomes to hear themselves clearly. Not because their mind is empty, but because it has become too noisy. The strange thing is that many people already know exactly what they've been avoiding. They simply keep surrounding themselves with enough stimulation to never fully confront it. But awareness changes something. The moment you begin noticing your distractions honestly, you also begin understanding what they may be protecting you from. If this video made you reflect on your own habits, subscribe to One Choice Away for more videos about psychology, emotional avoidance, self-awareness, procrastination, and the quiet patterns shaping your future. And if part of you still feels uncomfortable sitting alone with your own thoughts, that discomfort may already be trying to tell you something important.